Okay, let's give this another whirl. I am hoping this works on this phone and I can see the comments so then I can add Billy on here. Oh, my apologies, Billy. I feel terrible. Let's start again. Let's try again. There you are. I see you. All right.
There you go.
Hello.
There you go. There you
Oh
go.
my gosh, I am so sorry.
You're fine.
In true
We're,
Canadian fashion, I'm going to say I'm so sorry.
my uncle is in Niagara, Ontario. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure. I'm at the opposite end. Oh, they're in some bad weather there. Those poor people.
I don't know how
That
you
is
survive
not
up
good
there,
for
cause
them.
that. There we go. My cousin's watching right now. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't
Awesome.
know
Well,
how they
I
do
am
handle it up
super.
there.
Yeah, I think they had an ice storm maybe over the weekend in certain areas over there. So it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it either. I'm glad I'm on the West Coast as much as it's like, the rain, 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 but that's okay. I'm just going to share this on my page. I'm so excited to have you on. This is so cool because we've talked a bit back and forth, and
Yeah.
you always post stuff to get a good debate going.
You're gonna hear the whole different side. I mean, it's like I have people that they're Cardon's friends and they're always like, "Hey, I can't figure you out. I mean, I don't know what the hell. Like, what are you? Like, I don't get you. Well, you never will figure me out. I mean, that's just the way I roll, you know? Like, I just
That's right.
like, I mean, look at the way I talk to our accountant, you know? Like, he talks to our accountant the way I do. It's just it's
Right.
just a whole different relationship. But yeah, it's
Yeah, you know what? And I think too, it's kind of one of those things that, you know what? Maybe you're not supposed to be figured out. It's like that's what keeps people intrigued.
yeah. I mean, I like
That's why they
and the
keep
funny
coming
part is
back.
that like if you're on my Facebook, I don't customize anything so that people don't see it.
Yeah.
Like I have customers on there, I have family on there, I have friends on there. What I do not tolerate on the Facebook is if I find out that you've got something bad to say, and then
Hmm.
somebody makes me aware of it, and you're a friend on Facebook, I definitely don't tolerate that, and I try to like eliminate people like that because it's fine,
Yeah.
go talk bad about me, but definitely you're not gonna see like kind of a closer look of what I post, because you're
Right.
basically like a bad vibe. I mean, a bad vibe.
Well, and I know you and I have had that conversation about like being, you know what? You better be up and honest rather than being a phony, right? Like we've had that
Hmm.
conversation.
Yeah, you will get caught up, and
Yeah.
yeah, you will
It
get
it
exposed.
you'll get exposed, it bites you in the butt and it's not a good thing. So I
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
no,
I'm gonna do more of these. Like,
I'm
just
very excited to have you on and learn more about your business and how you started it and just fill us in.
yeah, so the business is like very simple. Like it's so simple. I don't know why there's this whole thing of like people making it seem like to be in a business you have to like do some complicated weird stuff. Only intelligent, smart geniuses can do that because it's completely not true. Like
Right.
the people that, if you notice, the people that weren't so talented in school, they've had C's and D's the whole time. They're the ones that have excelled because just business is
Yeah.
basic, and the more you simplify, the way you multiply it. So the way it
Right.
started is I used to work at a country club, Royal Oaks Country Club in Houston, and there was a lot of oil
Mhm.
executives. So you've got the BP CEO, the Conoco CEO, I mean like the Shell CEO, all the CEOs. It's basically the closest neighborhood that's gated, that's in proximity to the energy
Yeah.
corridor here in Houston, which is like the capital of the oil in the
Right.
world, right? So they lived there and they
Yeah.
were members there. There are members there, and I used to work there and take care of their golf. And when I wasn't working golf, I was working valet, parking their cars. And in the summers, I was a lifeguard, you know, for their kids. And so I was always there just
Mm-hmm.
trying to like, you know, the pay, obviously I didn't know that it wasn't that good, right? But I always knew that I just wanted to get relationships with these people. And so that's what my whole focus was. And
Mm-hmm.
um, when I started in the golf department, one day they were like, hey, you know, go watch some golf carts. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, you know, whatever. Like our team, the team of three, that it was us three, we were really
Mm-hmm.
like tied up. So we split our tips. It wasn't like I was worried that the guy was going to like take tips while I was back there. Like we were truly a team. And
Yeah.
so we got stuff done real quick. And that's where it really started. Like I watched like golf carts. And then eventually, I went up to valet and I was like, man, I don't have the same hours. Um, why not do something on the side? I'm like, why not just
Mm-hmm.
go to these people's houses and wash their cars? And I was like, okay, let me talk to these members. And I talked to one guy. I remember going up to his door. I was like, hey man, I was like, I just got this idea. I'm like, I want to wash some cars. You think you can be my first client? I'm like super new, you know. And he was like, yeah, man, like for sure. I've got 3 cars come this Sunday. And then like I started that Sunday, and then people just were like walking by the neighborhood, and it like just came and it
Yeah.
grew and it grew, and like everybody just knew each other. When I was working at the country club still, I was giving out cards. I was like, hey, I'm available, and it just kept growing. It got to a
Mm-hmm.
point where I got fired from there, to be honest with you, over a conflict of somebody stealing money.
Yeah.
They were hiding tips. They were coming in on hours they really didn't need to, and they, you know, I confronted the assistant GM about it. He didn't like the way I approached it, and you know, I was gone by the following week, and I was like, okay, well, I can go look for another job,
Yeah.
or I could just like go and like continue with my detailing business. And then like I honestly like
Right.
all these figures that I follow, Grant, Brad, and like all those figures, I knew nobody. Patrick, I had never heard of
Yeah.
anything. I had never even watched a business YouTube video. Like it was nothing. It was just like just my instincts,
Right.
my ideas. And it was kind of it's kind of like a gift and a curse, because the gift part of it is like, okay, um you kind of don't think about what other people are doing, and then you just do it. And the curse is that you don't have any like knowledge of like what you're getting yourself into. And
Right.
so I just decided to go into the car wash business, and I thought, oh, I can grow this business by prices. Well, I realized that you can't grow a business just by slashing somebody's prices. It's not just about that. That means
Right.
I didn't have the ability to sell. I didn't have the skill to sell. And so I just did that, and then like it just grew and it grew. And these people that they were they had their own companies. They would connect me in their like headquarters. So on Monday through Friday, we go to each day of the week has their own company that we go to, and whether it's 3 cars or it's like 20 cars, like it's that's their day. And so I just like I figured out what worked one day, or like 2 companies, and then like I kind of
Mm-hmm.
put a tweak on it, and then I just kept doing that until we just
Right.
filled up our schedule. Over like the last 2 years, it's been like a whole
Right.
different ride. It's been different because like we had a growth, and then we kind of got like we shrunk a little bit, and it was just because
Yeah.
we were hiring people, but it was like the customers weren't getting like taken care of. And so then as of like maybe a week ago, we just got
Mm-hmm.
like the main thing about this was that I built so many relationships. Like the relationship part of this is like
Mm-hmm.
incredible, right? And so then um,
Yeah.
we ended up servicing like daycares, hotels, like anything, right? And then that was just
Oh.
another like kind of mistake that I did. That was like I didn't focus on one thing. I just tried to go wide before I went deep, right? So
Right. Yeah.
with that came there was a hotel that we used to service. I think it was the Hyatt
Mm-hmm.
Regency,
Yeah.
and same guy. He used to manage the DoubleTree by Hilton. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
and so he eventually left companies, and he went with a bigger company that manages like high rises in downtown Houston. So
Wow.
like 3 weeks ago, like I mean, I had completely like kind of put the business aside. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
let my dad handle a little bit more, right? And so I started focusing on other things. And then as of recently, he approached me and he was like, hey, you still doing this? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. What you got? And so he basically offered to put me into 3 buildings in downtown. One of them, the
Wow.
main one, is the main building. It's the second largest building in Houston. So it's
Wow.
you've got like the U.S. attorneys in that building. You've got Goldman Sachs. You've got like top clientele. Then the other
Right.
building, you've got KPMG. Those kind
Yeah.
of companies. I mean, and then the third one we haven't even
Holy cow.
discussed, but that's just under his management. That's not the company's management. And so now doing this, it's like, okay, well, I realize, like, I've been thinking so much about it these last few days where I realized the mistakes I did in the past where I didn't want to collaborate. I wanted it all for myself. And because of that,
Yeah.
I ended up with the issue of hiring bad people, not retaining employees, having shitty
Right.
contracts. And so then now doing this, like, I just met with a guy yesterday, and it's like completely different, like collaboration at its finest. Like, look, I'll
Yeah.
I'll take money off. I'll take money out of my pockets, but like, let's do this deal because I'd rather take less money and have somebody that's gonna like be there with me than fucking just get like not be able to have any employees at all. So like the
Right.
mindset has changed like completely, and now it's just like, I don't know, the way I think. Did you go to GrowthCon?
No, I didn't, but I
Oh,
have actually. I live in Vancouver, Canada, and there's a guy that actually I'm got to know a little bit in the building, and he was going to go, and I haven't seen him since I had that interaction with him. So I'm anxious to talk to him because I know he did Cardone U, but I don't know if he ended up at the Growth Con or not.
and the reason I ask you is because I had a bad concept of this guy named Ty Lopez. I had a very
Right.
bad concept of him because but I had like never given the guy a chance. So I Bradley
Mm-hmm.
was one of his 10 that he put us in his suite, right? And so, when he talked, I listened, and like I just hadn't given the guy a chance. Now, I
Yeah.
don't agree with everything he says, but
Right.
the stuff that I've been doing ever since I listened to what he says is just like, wow, like
It
collaborate,
changed you.
like
See,
talk
and
to people
I
and like,
honestly
oh man, like,
see, that's the thing I always say when you follow those people, the like the Matt Moneros, the Bradleys, the Grant Cardones,
Matt,
all those
yeah,
people. It's one of those Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, it's for me. I don't necessarily have to agree with or like everything they say, but if you get the message of what they're generally saying, that's all that matters. You have to take that message. You have to hear what they're saying, right? And you
that's
have
right.
made. I think you've done things. I think one of the things in what you've just been, I've been listening to you while you speak, and it's like you didn't let fear step in front of you. You
Oh
just
no,
went.
like I was telling this to somebody like yesterday, I think, and it was like you develop a gut for the thing,
Right.
like like you develop, like you don't, like the risk you take, they're
Yeah.
small, like just monetarily, like you're scared to spend $20, for example. Let's just start at the bottom. You're
Yeah.
scared to spend $20, right? And then you just lose
Mhm.
that fear, and then you're scared to spend $100, and then you just lose
Mhm.
that fear, and then you get to 1,000, and then you're just oh, like you don't
Yeah.
even have to, like, you don't put time into thinking like, is it what if I spend these $1,000, like, and then it just keeps
Right.
going. And so at
Yeah.
this point, it becomes like, how fast can I do it? Like, if I don't do it right now, what's not gonna happen because I don't pull the trigger? And that's really
Right.
what, like, and going back to your point about following all these people, I guess a lot of people
Mhm.
confuse it when they try to follow everybody and they try to get everything from everybody. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna grab
Yeah.
everything from Gary, but I'll take his social media advice. I won't
Yeah.
take everything about Ty, but I'll take Ty saying, um, like, work smarter. I see people that burn themselves out like crazy. They just burn
Yeah.
themselves to the ground to get 100% of the money when they
Uh-huh.
could just take 20% of the money and just like have more free
Right.
time. Like
That,
like it's just
yes. And it's
like,
so it's to me it's mind-blowing that people there's so many people out there, not everybody, but so many that allow greed to take over when it should be logical. Like, if you get a little bit of the pie, it's better than having none, and grow
Yeah,
from
you get more pies.
you're going to get more, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. It's not,
yeah.
the money focus is so not what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's important, right? You can't just
It's
let, right?
absolutely.
But right, you can't like, I mean, like I saw somebody like last week, and he was just trying to get some help for the weekend, and he was debating whether paying somebody $10 an hour or $14 an hour. I'm like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
like how bad? How like $4 really? You're gonna
Yeah.
stop something for $4?
For
I mean,
four
it's just.
bucks. Exactly.
It's baby thinking, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and I think, I mean, that's where we're at with the company. And I'm like, in the last maybe month, I've been more appreciative because I've seen what it's like to have your own thing and
Yeah.
not take orders from somebody. And um it's just like, I like, and then Monero, he talks about the right vehicle, right? So like,
Yeah.
Monero really, when I talked to him in GrowthCon, I kind of told him what I was up to, and he was like,
Hmm.
"No, man, like, just people don't know the platform they're in. It's not gonna make them money like a taco stand, like." A taco stand, yeah, you sounds good. I
Yeah.
have a taco stand, Billy's Tacos, but you're gonna make your money $2 at a time. Do you want to make your money two
Exactly.
dollars at a time and wait 30 years to make $1 million? I mean, I just don't.
Yeah.
So
Right. You got it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly. You're right. How long? So from when you
right.
started your company
Mhm.
to where it is now, how long have you, when did you start it?
That was in probably 4 or 5 years ago, legally. Because at first it started just
Yeah.
as a side hustle, and then
Right.
now that I mentioned this, I mean, it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And then I had a friend of mine that I met through like one of my clients, and he was a bond trader. So he'd trade bonds for big companies and across the country and stuff, in Wall Street. And um, when it came time, I was like, it was towards the end of the year, and I told him the situation I was in, where I was like, man, I've got to freaking go do my taxes and stuff. And then he said, look, and I knew my books were a mess. They were just a mess. And then
Yeah.
he told me, he said, look, you're gonna do two things. You're gonna pay regardless, like whether you pay
Yeah.
an accountant or you're gonna pay the IRS. Like, you're gonna pay either
Hmm.
or. But if you pay an accountant, a good accountant, he's gonna be like your partner. He's gonna like watch out for you. He's gonna structure your business. He's gonna see what you can write off, what you can't write off. And then he was like, but just
Yeah.
know this accountant is not gonna be like your H&R Block guy. This guy he handles
Right.
my accounts. Yeah, he was like, he handles my
Yeah.
accounts, he handles my friend's accounts, and just know he's gonna be a pretty penny, but he's gonna like watch out for you. And it it was the best decision I made, and my friend putting me in touch with Benjamin, our accountant. And Benjamin, he's
Yeah.
not cheap. I'm gonna tell you that. Like, people call Benjamin because Benjamin's always wants recommendations. They call Benjamin, and then I tell him, I'm like, look, man, like, I hope you know what you're getting into. Like, this guy is not your $99 for the season type of
Yeah.
guy. This guy is gonna like charge you, but I'm telling you, you're gonna be going to sleep at night real comfortable that, like,
You get, well,
IRS ain't gonna bust your ass.
it goes back to, you get what you pay for.
It does, and like, I don't complain to Benji. Like, I know Benji right now, he's got a lot of clients that they're forcing him to have it due by what, in 3 4 days. And like, I just told Benji,
Hmm.
look, you know how we play it. Just follow the plan. I'm like,
Hmm.
if you need anything, I'm here, right? And like, I just let him be, because I've seen his desk. I mean, just stacks of stuff. Like, because people don't,
Yeah.
they think it's due by the 19th. You can file an extension. You could do stuff,
Yeah.
to kind of defer it. So
Well, and
that's,
I'm
Benji
hoping,
talk.
I'm hoping he joins us next Monday, because we
Yeah,
usually chat, but
oh man.
because I think that would be a very good person to have on, so people can understand. Like, I think people are scared of their, that's an instant thing that people instantly react to when they hear IRS, or up here it's revenue. I think it's Revenue
They
Canada.
they
Like,
scare the
oh, it's
shit out of
bad.
you.
Yeah. So I mean,
Uh,
somebody that knows the ins and outs of that absolutely is worth it.
and this is only going to be like maybe the third year with him. I don't know. Did you ever see or go through my pictures when I helped out Puerto Rico like last year? Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that. No.
So I don't even know. It's a long story to this, but the point is like it was a month after Harvey happened in Houston,
Oh,
and
okay.
and then Benji, he's from Puerto Rico, and his wife is from over there too. And
Okay.
then we got stuff together, and we were like, all right, man, let's do something. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if he wouldn't have been from over there, I probably wouldn't have helped out. But, you
Right.
know, he's done so much for me that I felt like, you know what? If I can do something for him,
Mm-hmm.
let's do something. So we
Right.
did. We took some you know, over there. It was like it was like the worst catastrophe somebody's ever seen. You know, people were, you know, killing
Mm.
themselves over food and stuff. And so we got on a
Oh,
plane and we took his family clothes and water and some batteries and all these other stuff.
wow.
But
Yeah.
he'll go the extra mile for me just like I will for him. But your accountant, man, that's who you have to take care of. It's one of them,
That's,
at
oh, well,
least.
for sure. And I mean, that I think that all ties into like you're giving back as well. And I think that is like such a huge all of those things, but you've got to give back at the same time. You've got to do, because what you put out is
Yeah,
what
I
you get
mean,
back.
I think like in my mindset before that was like I gotta wait till I've got some
Yeah.
thousands, like several thousands packed in the bank, just sitting there, and I'll give back in the way of a check. But what many don't realize is that you have relationships, you have connections, you have people that
Yeah.
you know that other people don't know. So then
Yeah.
that's an that's you have something that others wish they had, and by you not using those people or by you not helping people with what you have, you're kind of being a fraud to them, you know? So like I felt like guilty.
Yeah.
Like I knew people and I could have asked for their help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna do this now. So it was the
Yeah.
best thing I could have ever done. Like the month before it had been like the Harvey thing, and like my family was completely untouched. And so I felt so
Mm-hmm.
guilty. I was like, man, all these people got their houses destroyed, everything, and we didn't
Right.
even lose electricity. We were just so like perfect. So I had to
Wow.
give back some way. And then Benji was, he's Puerto Rican, so I was like, here we go. Let's
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah. So when would you say, like, when did you, what made your mindset, like, when did that shift occur for you? Like, that you changed your mindset from how it was before to how it is now? What was the thing that did that for you?
As far as the right
Like,
vehicle, or as far as
for your
or as
business,
far as
and yeah.
um, I think it was. Let's go back. I mean, as far as doing your own thing, or as far as like realizing
Like,
that
it's not,
the vehicle.
so when it's not all, yeah, so not when it's all about the money, and it's more about, making the relationships, and not maybe going as big as you could fast. And
Well,
when did
I
that
will say
change, you
I
think?
think money. Like I think I'm crazy about money. Like I think it's important, right? A lot of people don't. Like I love to
Yeah.
help, right? But at the end of the day, like I care about the
Yeah.
cash every day. I check my bank every day. Every morning I'm having my coffee and I'm
Yeah.
looking, okay, what went out yesterday? What went in yesterday? Who's coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Who hasn't paid, right? I care about it. Like I truly care about it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
as far as helping, I just realized that like I knew people that like others didn't, and I want to write a book about it eventually. Like tell people how you can
Oh,
talk to these people. Like
awesome.
it's not hard to talk to somebody with a high net worth. Like it's not. Like it's really
Yeah.
not. Because
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people fail is that they they think that because they're high net worth that they've got to treat them special. The truth is
Yes.
they just want to be treated normal because they're in a boardroom. They're in like a
Yeah.
picture frame all day, you know, and they need somebody that treats them like just a regular person. And when you
That's
treat
right.
them like a regular person, they're just like, oh, you know what, that guy can be my friend, right? So I think, and
Yes.
then they kind of start opening up to you. But as far as the shift to doing that,
Hmm.
I don't know. It was kind of that Harvey stuff, because everything had been
Yeah.
like going up, going up, going up. Like everything was all about like me. Like what can I take in? What can I take in? And then it got to the point where it was like, wait, like what if like I'm not giving back,
Yeah.
right? So,
Right.
I mean, I try to give back in a way that I can. I don't know if I don't know how I'm gonna give back this year. I do know for a
Hmm.
fact that here in a few days I have to cut a little check to my friend Jonathan.
Hmm.
He raises money for the Camp Hope here in Houston.
Oh.
He helps the veteran. So
Oh,
Jonathan,
very nice.
he raised. So when I called, so there's a restaurant here in Houston called Gringos,
Hmm.
and Russell, he's like the owner, the CEO, and then
Hmm.
his COO is Jonathan. So when I texted Russell, I didn't know, but Russell got Jonathan to help out, and Jonathan like raised the money for the to charter the planes. And so
Wow.
I didn't find this out till like after this whole thing, and I'm like, God, like this whole time people don't know that Jonathan's in the back, like freaking raising money to make this happen. And so he helped out, he helped us out. And now Jonathan,
Hmm.
he's trying to raise 100,000 for the veterans here in Houston. So he's doing like push-ups or pull-ups, I mean. So he, like, for every pull-up he does, it's
Oh,
like 10
wow.
cents or something. Yeah, so people have been like sending him checks and
Yeah.
stuff. And so I'm gonna do my little part and send him something, because again, like,
Right.
people just want to take in, like, I can't ask Russell and Jonathan to help me out with a plane, and then when they ask for my help, like, I'm just gonna sit there and like be like, nah, man, I can't. It's just people
Yeah.
don't see it that way, and
Yeah.
that's first is getting a relationship, and then it's keeping
Hmm.
it. It's two parts to it,
That. Oh,
and
exactly. It's two-sided. It's not one-sided. And you have to what you put out is what you get back, right?
it
So,
is true.
I mean, and I think too what you said, it's really about building those relationships. That is the key to your business, and it's really keeping them, right?
Yeah, if there's anything that I could talk about, it's probably that. Like, that has been like the most
Yeah.
significant thing that has made a difference for me. Like, I
Hmm.
talked about it like maybe a few days ago. I was like, this car wash business, I built it just on pounding doors, door to door, door to door, door to door. But this next thing that I'm gonna do, it's gonna be all about relationships, all about
Yeah.
relationships. Because again, going back to what Ty said, like, relationships,
Hmm.
collaborate, get less of the
Yeah.
pie, share. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I've been working on for the last few days. Um, and obviously, like, I'll start putting it out there, and it's
Hmm.
just these last 2 years, I've been in a whole different zone listening to these people.
Yeah, it does. It really changes the perspective. And I think, it's a shift. And there's a lot of people out there that own businesses that really, they're driven by whatever it is, whether it's the greed factor or if it's, they're not. The shift it's gone from being the boss to being a leader and mentoring your people to be better and to be
Yeah,
stronger,
and
you
even
know?
even the car wash business, it's kind of like I've left it to my dad more now. It's like,
Hmm.
I've kind of left him a foundation so he can,
Yeah.
work on it. And even right now that we're gonna head into these buildings, we're probably gonna. I mean, he will have nothing to do with that. It's gonna help be a whole different partnership, just because
Hmm.
there's when you work with family, it's a big difference. A lot of times their mindset is not the same as you, and they're still family,
Right.
right? But you have to know what's business, and you have to do what's best for business. I'm just,
Yes. And
so
do you find that challenging? Or do
at
you think
times, I
it's,
mean, at
yeah.
times you just, you give advice to them, like, so you don't see the burnout. And if they don't want to take it, at some point you just get tired of saying it over and over.
Right. And it
I
gets,
mean,
I think it's hard too because it's, you have that personal relationship. So it's like,
you
and
do.
especially if it's your dad,
It's
like
been great to
that's
us,
very,
but at some point you have to see what's right, because it's funny, like, now that I'm trying to explore the things, people still see me as the car wash guy, and I'm like, I can never get away
right.
from the business. Like, and it's different, but a lot of times, like, back to my opening statement was, it just so happened out of, like, just so randomly. It wasn't like I planned this. It was just like it happened, and then I kept adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
That deal alone probably took
Yes.
like
Sorry, I
months.
cut out there.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
That deal took like months
Yeah.
to start working, and we're still working it out, but
Yeah. Yeah. I
so
mean, things don't happen overnight. They have to, you got to put the time, you got to put the effort and the patience and all that stuff has to go into it. And then eventually it comes to light.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I made a comment this morning about, no matter how you try to rush a deal, like, it's just gonna take time, because
Yeah.
there's so much what do you say, bureaucracy? I'm not saying it right.
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. There we go. There's
Yeah.
so much of
Yeah.
that, and the people that we work with, that they need approval from the person above and above and above, and then I'm
Yeah.
just there, having to wait.
Right.
So,
Yeah. All
but
right.
I mean,
Well,
hopefully you can go to the next. I mean, I'd say if you can go to the Driven 2018 in LA with Albert. Albert's putting a freaking, like, stellar lineup. Like,
mm,
it's one day.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's gonna have, like, Cardone, but David, Albert, the two wives. I mean, but truly, like, no rah stuff, like straight
Yeah.
up real business stuff. I'd
Good
say you
stuff.
should go to
Yeah.
that. Meet people. I mean, truthfully, like, Brad's gonna be there. I told Brad and I. So
Mhm.
I went to an event in Miami, and
Mhm.
while Cardone was talking, Brad and I had sat down for coffee while he was doing his vape thing, and
Yeah.
we just sat down, and I'm like, man, it's the same thing they say over and over. Like, they all say the same thing. And he
Yes.
basically said, yeah, it's I don't know why people pay money to go to these things. And the truth is that it's all about meeting. Like, Brad said this stuff, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, it's just because you want to be
We
around those kind of people.
Right. And well, it's who you surround yourself with, right? But it's also
Hmm.
my other half and I have talked about that. He's making comments in here. I hope you can read them after, but we've talked
I'm gonna
about
have
that
him
before
add
too.
me.
It's like they all say the same thing. It's all the same message. They
Hmm.
just put their
It's the
own spin
same.
on it.
You
Yeah.
know what's funny? They say more on their podcast than they say on their on live speaking.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
for
hopefully
sure.
you can attend and get something out of it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got your live shows going on. Like, I'm about to jump on and get a podcast going probably next week, because
Yep.
it's again the top of the funnel. Like, attention. Like, how do you get attention? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You just started to see my Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start banging Instagram daily, like crazy mad,
Yeah.
like ridiculous, to the point where they think I'm on, like, drugs or something. Just attention.
Well, hey, if it gets you where you need to go, you do that.
I will. We'll set up a podcast,
Yeah.
and you start talking about. I mentioned I saw what you were saying earlier about your business, about restructuring in Seattle and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're from Seattle. You were from Seattle.
I'm no, I'm from Canada, but we had our company was it's handyguys.com. You'll have to check it out. It's handy guys with a
Okay.
Z, not an S. And so it's related to the trades industry, but we started it in Seattle, and we just, we had to pivot, we had to make some changes, and then so now we're bringing it back, and we revamped the website, and we've done a few things, and we've just changed kind of how we do business now. So we're just kind of getting it back out there and starting again. And now the video, it makes it a lot easier now than when we were back in 2012, because that basically we had Twitter.
That
Twitter
was
was
it.
the go-to. That was
That
it.
was
So
it.
I was like, that's why I have like, I don't know, there's like 16,000 tweets on there, because it was like, that's all I did was tweet, tweet, tweet. But now we've
Wow.
got Facebook Live, we've got video, you know what I mean? Like there's so many more platforms that it can grow so much easier. Well, not maybe easier, but it's like your reach is greater.
Are you using Instagram?
I'm going to be,
Oh,
yeah, we're just getting that
that
set up.
is.
So
I've kind of let off Snapchat recently. I'm just like,
yeah.
that's not worth it.
I don't,
It's
I'm not crazy about the new platform on Snapchat, and I don't know I don't even know if it really did anything, but I try to hit them all that I can. But yeah, Instagram is kind of,
there.
I
Yeah.
think it's the place. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
look forward to
Look
seeing
into
you on
Vero.
there.
Vero.
What's that?
Look into Vero.
Vero? Okay. Will do.
Vero. It's coming up. It's weird, but it's coming up, and hopefully you catch the trend.
Ah, okay.
And we'll
Good
get you
tip.
on. We'll get you on my podcast maybe in the
Oh,
next month. Like I just need to go buy some microphones.
dang, that would be very cool.
Like
Very cool for sure.
thank you for bringing me on here today. And
No, I
if I
appreciate.
could say anything.
I know that you're a very busy guy, so I'm very pleased that you actually agreed to be on here, and hopefully we can get your accountant on here as well, so he
We'll
can
get
tell
his
us
ass
all
on
about
here.
taxes. But yes, thank you so,
He's
so
awesome.
much.
All
I
right, Carla. So
appreciate it very much.
we'll talk soon, and we'll catch each other on Instagram.
We sure will.
All
Thank you
right.
so
See
much,
ya.
Billy. All
Okay.
right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. So that was, there was a lot of information, and I'm sorry if I didn't get you guys to talk to you and talk about and see your questions, because I don't know that he can see all the questions being asked. I hope he can, but thank you so much for joining. I'm going to get back to work, but you guys have an amazing Monday. Do whatever lights your soul up, and we will see you back here Wednesday, 9:30 Pacific time, and have a good one. Bye.